Imagine waking up one morning and finding out that something has been living inside your body for most of your life. You never saw it. You never felt it. It never made a sound. It simply stayed hidden, waiting for the right moment. That idea sounds like something from a horror movie. And when evil lurks, a quiet farming community discovers that something dark has taken hold of a person's body. At first, the danger seems small, easy to ignore. But the longer it stays hidden, the worse it becomes. It spreads without warning. By the time people understand what is happening, it is already too late. It is a chilling story because the real danger is not what people can see. It is what has been there all along. Now here is the part that makes this movie even more unsettling. Your body may already be carrying something with a very similar pattern, not a demon, not a curse, a virus. One that may have entered your body when you were a child. One that your immune system cannot completely remove. One that can stay hidden for years or even for the rest of your life. Most people never think about it because most of the time it stays quiet. It gives no sign that it is still there. But quiet does not always mean gone. Before we go any further, if you enjoy stories where movies lead us into real science and surprising facts about the human body, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. There is always something fascinating waiting beneath the surface. The real numbers inside you. Let's make this personal. There is a good chance that what we are talking about is already inside your body. Around 60% of people around the world carry herpes simplex virus type 1, also called HSV1. Many people know it as the virus that can cause cold sores. But what most people never hear is that once this virus enters your body, it usually stays there for life. It does not spend that time floating through your blood. Instead, it settles deep inside certain nerve cells. There, it becomes almost impossible for your immune system to remove completely. Now think about chickenpox. If you had chickenpox as a child, you probably remember itchy spots, a few uncomfortable days, and then getting better. Most people believe that is the end of the story. It is not. The virus that caused chickenpox has another name. It is called the Varicella-Zoster virus. After the rash disappears, the virus does not leave your body. It moves into groups of nerve cells called nerve ganglia, where it can remain for decades without causing any problems. Years later, sometimes even 50 or 60 years later, that same virus can become active again. When it does, it can appear as shingles, a painful condition that surprises many people because they thought chickenpox was something they left behind in childhood. Then there is another virus that is even more common. It is called the Epstein-Barr virus, or EBV. Scientists estimate that more than 90% of adults around the world carry it. That means almost everyone you know has likely been infected at some point. Some people remember having infectious mononucleosis, often called mono. Many others never notice any symptoms at all. The virus enters quietly, and after the first infection, it remains inside the body. This is the part that surprises many people. Your immune system is one of the most powerful defense systems in nature. Every day it finds harmful germs, destroys infected cells, and protects you from countless threats. Yet these viruses have found a way to stay. They do not keep attacking every day. They do not constantly make you sick. Instead, they become quiet, very quiet. For years, they can remain hidden inside your own cells without making new virus particles. During this time, you may feel completely healthy. You go to school, you build a career, you celebrate birthdays, you travel, you grow older, all while these tiny pieces of genetic material are still inside your nervous system. That sounds unbelievable, but it is not science fiction. It is biology. And understanding how they stay hidden may be even stranger than the fact that they are there at all. What is viral latency? So how can a virus stay inside your body for years without your immune system getting rid of it? The answer is something called viral latency. That may sound like a complicated science term, but the idea is actually simple. Think about walking into a dark room. You know someone is inside, but they are standing completely still. They are not making a sound. They are not moving. If nothing changes, you may never notice they are there. That is similar to what these viruses do. After the first infection, they stop making large numbers of new virus particles. Instead, they leave behind a tiny copy of their genetic material inside certain cells. In the case of herpes simplex and the chickenpox virus, those cells are found in your nervous system. Once they settle in, they become incredibly quiet. Your immune system is very good at finding cells that look dangerous. It watches for signs that a virus is actively taking over, but during latency, the virus is doing very little. It is not causing the kind of activity that usually catches your immune system's attention. That is one reason these viruses can remain inside the body for such a long time. Years can pass, sometimes decades. You may never know they are still there. This does not mean the virus is active every day. It also does not mean you will definitely become sick again. For many people, these viruses stay quiet for most of their lives, but they are not completely gone. Scientists have learned that certain changes inside the body can push a dormant virus out of its quiet state. That process is called reactivation. Reactivation simply means the virus switches from being silent to becoming active again. It starts using the cell to make new copies of itself. Sometimes this causes symptoms, sometimes it does not. It depends on the virus, the person, and what is happening inside the body. For example, herpes simplex can cause another cold sore. The virus that caused chickenpox can return years later as shingles. Epstein-Barr virus can also become active again, although many people never realize it has happened. For a long time, scientists knew that stress, illness, aging, or a weakened immune system seemed to increase the chance of reactivation. But there was one big question. How? What was the actual switch? What changed inside the body that told a quiet virus it was time to wake up? Researchers searched for that answer for years. Then in 2025, they found an important piece of the puzzle. If you're enjoying these real stories where science turns out to be just as surprising as fiction, don't forget to subscribe. There are many more hidden stories inside your own body waiting to be explored. The 2025 discovery: how stress wakes the virus up. When people hear the word stress, they often think only about emotions. A busy week, money problems, lack of sleep, family worries. Those things certainly matter, but your body experiences many kinds of stress. A high fever, an injury, another infection, major surgery, growing older. Even long periods without enough rest can place extra pressure on your body's systems. Whenever that happens, your body starts a chain of reactions to help you deal with the challenge. Special molecules become active. Different genes turn on. Cells begin working in new ways to protect you. Most of the time, these changes are helpful. They are part of your body's normal response to difficult situations. But in April 2025, researchers published a study that revealed something unexpected. They identified a molecule called heat shock factor 2, or HSF2. The name sounds complicated, but you can think of it as one of the body's stress response helpers. When cells are under pressure, HSF2 helps control how certain genes behave. What caught scientists' attention was that this same molecule also appeared to help dormant herpes viruses become active again. In other words, one of the body's own stress response systems may provide part of the signal that allows a hidden virus to leave its quiet state. That does not mean every stressful day will wake up a virus. It also does not mean stress alone is responsible every time. The human body is much more complex than that. Many different factors work together, and researchers are still learning exactly how the process unfolds. But this discovery gave scientists something they've been looking for: a real biological pathway, a molecular clue. Instead of only saying that stress and viral reactivation seem connected, they can now point to one of the mechanisms that may help explain why that connection exists. That changes the conversation. It moves the idea from observation toward understanding. Now think back to when evil lurks. The danger in the movie does not appear out of nowhere. It waits. It remains hidden until the right conditions allow it to spread. Real viruses are not evil. They are not making choices. They are following biology. Yet the pattern is surprisingly similar. Something enters, something stays hidden. Then, under certain conditions, it becomes active again. That is one reason this science feels so unsettling. The movie imagines an invisible threat waiting for the right moment. Your own biology already contains examples of something that can do exactly that. The personal connection. Long COVID, now let's bring this closer to today. While millions of people recovered from COVID-19 within a few weeks, others continue to experience lasting symptoms like extreme tiredness, brain fog, headaches, muscle pain, and trouble concentrating. This condition became known as long COVID. As researchers studied these patients, they began asking a new question. What if COVID-19 was not the whole story? What if another virus, one that had been quietly living inside the body for years, was becoming active again? Their attention turned to the Epstein-Barr virus, or EBV. More than 90% of adults carry this virus, usually after being infected during childhood or early adulthood. For most people, it remains dormant for life. But studies published in 2024 and 2025 found that in some patients, EBV reactivation was linked with long COVID symptoms. Researchers are still investigating this connection, and there is much more to learn. It is a remarkable idea. A virus you have carried for years could become active after a completely different illness, possibly adding to the body's struggle to recover. It shows just how connected our immune system really is. This does not mean EBV causes every case of long COVID, and it does not mean everyone with EBV will experience these symptoms. But it does remind us that the body keeps a long memory, and scientists are still uncovering how infections from years ago can influence our health today. If you enjoy exploring the hidden science inside the human body, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. There are many more fascinating stories waiting to be discovered. When Evil Lurks is more than a horror movie. It tells the story of an unseen danger that stays hidden until the right conditions allow it to spread. What makes that idea so unsettling is that real biology works in a surprisingly similar way. The film's director has said the story was inspired by the slow and visible spread of harmful pesticides through rural communities. In real life, latent viruses follow a similar pattern. They can enter your body, settle inside certain cells, and remain there for years without causing any symptoms. For most people, they stay quiet. For others, they may become active again under the right conditions. Recent research, including the 2025 discovery involving HSF2 and ongoing studies of Epstein-Barr virus and long COVID, is helping scientists understand how and why this happens. There are still many questions to answer, but each new discovery brings us a little closer. The next time you think about a virus, remember that some of them do not simply come and go. They can remain hidden for decades, becoming part of a story your body has been carrying since childhood. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the science behind this film, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more stories where fiction meets real science, and I'll see you in the next one.